Scene one, Apple, take one. What time is it?
You want to get high?
That's right.
She caught me smoking. Ooh, she caught me smoking. Ooh, she caught me smoking, smoking. Ooh, she caught me smoking. Ooh, she caught me smoking. Ooh, she caught me smoking. It's a motherfucking podcast.
What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Saturday Smoke Session, and today I have a very special guest. I have Mr. Phil Better from the Invest in Your podcast, the Digital Entrepreneur podcast. I fucked that up, didn't I? On the first try.
It was great. I loved how you went through it, though. You're like, yeah, I'm going for it. I fucked up, but I'm going to go.
I had to finish it. I had to.
Yeah,
So
you're
let's
strong.
do this. Let me try this one more time.
There you go.
The Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur podcast. There we go. I still fucked it up, but at least I got all the words right.
You got, although you added an extra word, but that's fine. That's better. It's all good.
Anyways, I'm just gonna let you do it because obviously you're
How many
way better
dabs
at
have
it
you
than I am.
had?
None, to be honest with you.
Jesus,
clear.
let's get to this man a dab. As the man said, the smoke session king over here said, Dan the man. My name is Phil Better. I host the Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur podcast. Also, yeah, there we go. Don't worry, it took me a few times to say it right too. But yeah, it's a podcast that because I've always wanted to learn how to be an entrepreneur, and like fucking growing up, there was nothing for us, right? No books, nothing, and Google has made everything and the internet has made stuff so accessible. I've connected with so many great people through it, so I'm like, I'm gonna just let them tell their fucking story, learn from them, and boom, right, make a brand off that. So I did that because I love podcasting. I love talking with people. I think it's one of the greatest ways to network by podcasting, because you have the conversation forever. So you're like, oh, if I actually talked about this, you know, listen to it here, or someone else can hear you. So that's one reason I love it. So yeah, that's the main. Give me a second here.
Oh, you're good, bro.
The main reason that's my main podcast I'm working on right now. We just finished we're finishing up season 1 next Thursday. Finish recording season 2 on Saturday. So that's going to be fun. And then March we launch season 2, and season 3 is going to be recorded in March. So it's like, it's rolling, man. It's rolling, and it's tiresome. It's tiresome.
It is. Podcasting is a full-time job with overtime and no pay. So
Yeah. Well, I'm changing it out. I'm trying to make pay. I'm trying to figure out how to get paid, you know? Yeah. So trying different things, see what works. So far, one great thing I did through this was actually meet these one kid. He's 20 years old. Okay. 20 fucking years old.
Mm-hmm.
And through print on demand, he has a 6-figure business.
Nice.
And through high ticket affiliate marketing, he's nearly at $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I'm like, you're 20. And I'm like, Jesus. 20 years old, man. And I'm like, I'm following this kid because, like, I'll take whatever knowledge you have, man. I'm taking whatever knowledge you're dishing out. I'll let you be my guru. Like,
yeah, when it comes to these kids nowadays, they know more about all this stuff than we do. And
yeah, with
our life experience, we have the stories, but they have the intelligence to actually put it to on a like airwave or podcast or you know, a blog, even if you're a blogger. But so yeah, how did you get started into podcasting? Like, I'm gonna go over the basic podcast questions, and
yeah, of course, everybody, what's your podcast history, your origin story?
Yep.
You know, because everybody wants an origin story, right?
Exactly. But then after that, I'm gonna throw you some curveballs. So
cool. Give me 1 second.
No, not a problem.
To spark, because I haven't sparked all day, because I was working and like a good employee, because I'm not full-time podcaster yet. I do not partake during the working hours. So I am smoking. What am I smoking? I'm smoking Marley Green.
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
I have smoked that before.
I like we have Marley Gold is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I love it because it could just concentrate. When you need to concentrate, I find you just like right
Yep.
in. But this one I've been loving too.
Yo, I got some Skywalker OG in my dab pen. So, but yeah,
I've been wanting to try that Skywalker actually.
yeah, Skywalker OG is pretty much my go-to when I'm going with like wax.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna do like a cart, that's when I'm gonna go to with Skywalker OG. So for all the people out there that see me hitting my cartridge, that's what's in it all the time. But yeah,
So yeah,
so-
my origin story. Fuck, I don't know, like maybe 7-8 years ago, I started listening to podcasts. I started listening to a bit of Rogan, but I wasn't really heavy on Rogan because I was like, I didn't like his abrasive style. I had to grow to like him.
Okay.
But it was mainly Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is an idol of mine because like, dude, like made his career out of him and his buddy hanging out, smoking weed. Like,
yeah,
and he took this the Cheech and Chong and was able to jump on that Breakfast Club
mm-hmm.
stuff and expand it, and now he's got a fast food joint, he's got a new studio for his podcast. He crowdsourced a full fucking movie,
right.
like mind blowing that like this guy's just like he's the quintessential fuck you to Hollywood.
Exactly.
But Hollywood's like, but we love you, come back.
But
They
you
see
make
how
so
much
much
money
money.
he's making, right?
Uh-huh.
Like they're like, but he's like, no, I want to give it to my people. So I love that. I love how he's like, like I'm a movie buff, so that's where I started. I decided, fuck it, Kevin Smith can do it, I can do it, and it's not that hard. Like podcasting is the easiest thing in the world to do, but to be a successful podcast is the hardest thing in the world to do.
Exactly. Anybody can get on a mic and tell a story, but
but it's the you're a whole company in one, right?
yep.
So I started the Phil Better Show, which was about movies, talking about movies, my love of movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up getting a co-host. We bammed out close to 150 episodes, right? And it was like great over 3 years, but 2020 happened, and not just like COVID, but like my life, like everything just came and slammed right into me. And so I burnt out at work.
Mm-hmm.
My relationship was in the gutter and all this. So I took off 2 months, and I was like, I have 2 months to get my ass back into where I was. And then I was like, boom. And then I started networking, started figuring out, okay, I need to get out of this like money rant, like this weird money mentality. Started talking with entrepreneurs. Boom, launched the podcast December 1st. 21 interviews wrapped up. Second season, 21 interviews, and I landed a CEO of a huge startup incubator in France who owns a rugby team. So it's like, holy fuck. Right? So like super happy with that. And like that's what I love about podcasting, because it's like it takes your brand to the next level. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm a nobody in Montreal. We would never
Right.
have talked if it wasn't for a podcast group, right? With Facebook, the internet, like this would never have happened. And I would never have been able to talk to this guy who's this big shot in France, So it's like really fucking weird.
Yeah, that's insane to go just from podcasting to like a CEO of a
and it's crazy all this like connections I'm making, because he also invited me over to their media launch.
Okay.
Now I have media representation. So like if I go somewhere in like a media event, I can say, yeah, well, I was at this super big media event in France. Like, oh shit, he's international now.
Right.
So
Yep.
what's so great about this, man?
Yeah, it's great. It's great to have a fellow Canadian on the show. Like, I am not Canadian. I was born here in Michigan, but my family originated from Montreal. So it's very awesome to have someone from Montreal on my show.
Yeah.
Didn't know that beforehand, but it's cool to know now.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's throw you a curveball question real quick. I have a list of questions here. We're not going to get through them all. We never do. So, but let's go with this one. What mythical creature do you think would improve the world if it exists today?
That's a good one, man. That's a good one. Because there's like the one that I would want to have because it would improve my life because it would just be badass. But then I'm like, okay, you're asking for the world, and
To make the world a better place.
because I'm thinking, I'm like, because I'm Irish, you know, like I got the Irish, and I'm like a leprechaun, but I'm like, yeah, those bastards are tricky.
Those,
But
yeah,
then-
they're sneaky. I've seen all 3 movies. There's 4
Okay,
movies.
look. Okay, we're not going to talk about the movies. I've been to the authentic Irish Leprechaun Museum in Ireland. Okay, in Dublin, Ireland. Swear to God, I have a coin, and a picture inside the museum. There's a museum dedicated to the little people. So yeah, I would say the Fae. The Fae. There
Okay.
we go. The Fae.
Faye, nice. Like I would pick a unicorn because I think if somebody saw a unicorn and believed it was real, because it's not like a scary creature, it's kind of like a beautiful creature. Like they would try to like, I don't know, expand their minds a little bit, maybe think a little bit more outside the box.
Gotta say, yeah.
But
I thought the unicorn, but I'm like, God, that's too generic.
yeah,
For me, I'm like, I wanted like, what is something like specific? Because like, yes, as you said, like you see a unicorn, you're gonna be like,
that's a unicorn.
that's a motherfucker. I was told it does not exist. I did not smoke or dab today. What the fuck?
Like lies, all lies.
Yeah, you start questioning shit. So yeah, but for me, it would be like a Fae because you know, like they're from Ireland, and for me, you know, I got that Irish love.
Right. Nice. All right, now what advice would you give somebody who wants to start a podcast?
Pick something either you're super passionate and you can talk about 100 episodes about, and you can write like 100 episode titles about it, or something you want to learn about. Don't just try and cover everything because you'll fucking fail. Niche down as much as you can, and once you get that's your core, then find groups that talk about that topic that you're interested in and become part of that group. Once you're part of that group, don't even mention your podcast for the first like month you're part of that group, but interact, ask questions, answer questions, you know, get topics for your podcast, record your podcast. And if you're looking for guests, jump out of those and go to podcast guesting sites, and there you'll get all those. Never post your podcast link in any podcast support group. You'll get none of the support you need. Those places,
I learned that the hard way.
everybody does. Everybody who starts, because they see everybody else doing it and like, oh, they must be successful, I'll do the exact same. It's not like that anymore, because podcasting is a little more mainstream. Like, and what you want to do is you want to go where your listener is. So where's your listener? Like, if you're in weed tubes because you're a marijuana podcast, so you're not going to go into some Christian group and start like posting about your marijuana, because it'll be like the devil lettuce. It's the devil lettuce.
Exactly. Yep. I get messages from I don't want to say Mormons because I don't know if they're Mormons, but I'm pretty sure they're Mormons. But we'll say Mormons. I get messages from these guys all the time saying that Jesus, you need to be saved by Jesus. These guys don't know that I go to church every week, and I pray every night, and I pray every morning. So
like, for me, it's like, I'm not religious.
Right.
Agnostic. I believe there's something out there. If you want to call him God, or she God, or Buddha, whoever you want to call it, that's cool with me. If you're not going to push it on me, I'm not going to be upset. We're cool there. And that's cool. Like, you have some fundamental beliefs that I may not believe in, but at the core, I try and find the similarities in people. As long as you don't go against pretty much my core, you don't hate everybody.
Exactly.
You support people, and you want to help people. We're good. Like, if you can meet that minimal amount, I can forgive nearly everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a very forgiving person, and I just don't like negative people. I exit negative people out of my life. Like, I try not to exclude them, but you know, I don't make it a point to talk to them.
Contact.
Exactly.
Minimal contact. I'm not going to shoo you away, but I'm gonna find my exit if I need to.
Right. Like I think Jim Carrey had the best saying ever, and I put it on my Facebook because I loved it so much. And it said, "Just because you lost me as a friend doesn't mean you gained me as an enemy. I still want to see you eat, just not at my table."
Oh yeah, for
Yep.
sure. And
Yep.
I'll never like if I have. There's some people that I dislike with a passion, right?
Mhm.
They've done me wrong, and I've forgiven them. Will I let them do me wrong again? No. The door is closed. But if I know that I know something that can help them for whatever it is, I'll be like, look, this is what they did to me. If you're
Right.
looking for it, here's it. But know that, like, this is where I'm coming from. I don't
Mhm.
trust them, or they've done me wrong. I'll let you take it from there because my rep is very important to me.
Exactly. Yep.
That's all I have to my name.
All right. Okay. Well, we're gonna throw you a curveball again. It's like pineapple.
Philosophical time.
There you go. Pineapple on pizza. Yay or nay?
Fuck no.
Fuck no. Me.
For me, like again, this is not something I'm not a hill I'm willing to die on. Like if I have a pretty woman that's like, well, I want pineapple on pizza, I'm like, yo, cut it in half. She gets half pineapple on her pizza. I'll get no pineapple on my pizza. I'm cool with that. Like, I'm
Right.
not gonna die over this. I'm not gonna say friendship over.
It's like,
like,
get out.
Out. Like, will I encourage future children of mine to have it? No.
Right. Yep.
But I can't stop it.
Yeah, my fiance always puts pineapple on her pizza. I can't stand it, but
I love pineapple, but
Yeah.
it's like no.
yeah, I love pineapple too. Fresh pineapple. I'll eat it all day, but not on my pizza.
I'll grill it even. I had it in a burger. That's delicious, but like for some reason, no. It just no.
Like even in salsa, like pineapple salsa is pretty good.
Yeah,
If you haven't tried
it's like for me, I have this weird thing with tomatoes. I can have them in burgers. I can have ketchup, all that. But in salads or chunks in a sauce, no, I can't.
No.
So weird. So weird. So weird.
Gee, look. All right. If you could start any secret conspiracy, what would it be? Any secret conspiracy.
Well, if I start one now, my secret's out, so I can't really start it. Like, nice try,
Yeah.
Dan.
I'm in your
Nice
head.
one. I may be high, but I can still think.
Right?
But there we go. If I could be behind a current conspiracy theory or group, which one would I be? That I can answer. I'll twist the story. I'll twist it on you because I don't want to release something that I may be thinking of that may be true that I have to prove. The Illuminati. That's the always the one that's like, I know they're harmless probably now, because we're less it's more global, so it's really more harder to force the wills of countries for now anyways. But like I would love, because it's the connections, like it's life is about connections, and it's been proven over. It's who you know, not what you know.
Yeah.
So being able to have that connections and being behind the Illuminati and seeing how that network worked, and been like, damn son.
Yeah, the Illuminati would be a big one because of, like you said, all the connections, like from the top all the way down, you're connected to everything. So, yeah, the Illuminati would be an awesome one.
I wouldn't be surprised if there are already like Illuminatis in like the Freemasons and all these other brotherhoods and sisterhoods all around the world. Like the Illuminatis are like, nah, we the big guys, we in charge, and they're controlling everything, but they're throwing everybody off. And so like, oh, look at over here, no, look at this shadow organization. It's just one dude, he's just chilling playing a video game. He's like, yeah, whatever.
What? Yeah, or no, whatever, man. All right, is cereal a soup? Yes or no? Why and why not? Told you, I'm throwing you curveballs.
Damn, man, you get a lot of philosophical, life-deepening questions here. Cereal is not a soup. It's not, because there's no vegetables in it. For me, a soup
True.
is like more vegetable based.
More
It's
like
a
hearty.
it's more hearty. It's like a broth. Like what is cereal? It's it's oats, if you will, and
Right.
milk. That's it. Like there's no
Pretty much.
broth, there's no heartiness to it. Yes, some can be hearty, but it's not like, oh, I can eat this and I'm warm and good for a week, or take on an orc mountain or something,
Right. Right. Now, I would say that cereal could be classified as a soup, kind of. Maybe just for
Pistachio.
sake of debate.
No, you can't. Don't try that. Don't try the devil's advocate. My debate skills are a masterpiece.
It's be like Fruit Loop soup. Come on, instead of Fruit Loop cereal, it's Fruit Loop soup.
No. Sorry, no.
Yeah, I don't think I actually can debate that one. I don't have an argument against that actually.
Because when you think of soup, you think like good, hearty, like
It's hot.
gusto. Like, yeah, it's not only hot, but because you can have cold soups, but
Yeah.
they're still like they're vegetable or meat based. It's not like
Sugar.
cereal. Like Cheerios is like Honey Nut Oats, like in round circles. Like I'm not going to be able to take on the task for my day or like refuel for my day. From the eating. I need to eat a lot of this shit. Like, no, this is not it. A soup packs a punch.
Soup, yeah, yep. Soup fills you up. Cereal really just gets you going.
Warms up the engine.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if your life was a video game, which game would it be, and what cheat codes would you have? Are you a big gamer? Because I'm a huge gamer.
Yeah. You know what? I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty with my boys, and I just started playing The Forest on PS4, and but I also play Rust.
Okay, I love
I
Rust.
love Rust too. I love watching Rust videos. I haven't played in a while because my PC's shit. Which hopefully this next month I get the upgrade. But I want to go like a Rust, Rust game. Like it's survival. You are a badass. You either can work with people, or if you want to try to do it alone, you can. And you can. There's obviously tales of people succeeding, but bigger group is easier. And dicks get fucked with more often, so that's nice to see. Because the community can come against it. So I like seeing that, because it's like every wipe is a microcosm of society, because everybody starts off being greedy, and then everybody kind of works together somewhat in a way to beat up the fucking pricks of something.
Exactly. Yep. But yeah, I think I would have to go with it like a GTA, like Grand Theft Auto.
I would just be scared that I'd be shot too often, trying to get into my car. Whereas Rust, I have a building always.
Yeah, exactly.
I can build something really quick. Yeah, I'm safe.
Yeah, GTA, but also I would have a cheat code for infinite lives, so it wouldn't matter if I got shot. So the joke's on you.
With Rust, I always come back.
Yep, exactly.
I just wake up, so I don't have to worry. But I would have the Contra code. You got to have the Contra code, which just gives you a nuclear bomb. Just like throws nukes. You get to throw nukes.
Right. Okay, let's do this one. What was the most inappropriate or embarrassing place you have ripped ass? We've all done it. We've all ripped ass in line at McDonald's or something. So,
an ex-girlfriend's mother's 50th birthday.
yes.
I'm legit bartending, okay? And I'm an Irish guy. I'm young. I'm like around 26, I want to say. Maybe about... No, I'm fucking younger. I'm like 24, 25. Pouring drinks, and I'm pouring strong drinks. I'm not holding back. It's like it's 4 fingers, not 2 fingers, And making these drinks for these people who are like 30 to 40 to 50-year-olds, like way older than me. And I'm like, and they're all Middle Eastern. Right? And I'm like the only white dude here. I'm like the whitest dude in the room. Like, I'm Irish, Scottish, and French. Like, I'm so white, even Vikings go, is that a ghost? Like, that's how bad it is. Like, if I didn't have this red beard, I'd be invisible, John Cena, you can't see me. So like, I'm I'm there, I'm drinking, like, yeah, cheers, you know, woo, we're all partying. And it just, for some reason, you know, it just drops. Like everything drops. And all you hear is like a massive wet fart. Like nothing, like it would just for some reason. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And then the music starts up again. Everybody starts laughing. So I was like, oh, this is horrible. No stank, nothing, just like a wet gish. And I'm like, I went to the bathroom because I'm like, I don't want to, you know, luckily nothing. But it was like, oh, are you kidding me, bruv?
Let's have to go check it out for a minute. Make sure.
Yeah, did I rip something or did like something leak? Like Exton Valdez going on. Like, I don't need that, you know?
Right. Yeah, I was. Oh, my story. I'll even tell you my story. It was what we're. I was sitting on. I just started dating this girl, and we were sitting on the couch watching a movie, and
It's
about
always with a girl. It's
Yep,
always
it's
with
always.
a girlfriend or something. It's never like with your boys or anything like that because your
Or your
boys don't give
dad.
a fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You
No.
never rip ass with your dad, and then I think it's embarrassing. He'll probably just try to match you. But we were on the couch watching a movie, and the movie was almost over, and I had to rip it, and I had to rip ass, and I was holding it for
Oh, that's painful.
at least a couple of minutes. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try and hold it to the end of the movie. Oh, movie's almost over with, like 10, 15 minutes over with. And then I couldn't hold it anymore, and then so I clinched up and tried to silence it. But the problem with that was her leg, like her foot was like underneath my leg. So while I'm trying to be sneaky, she's feeling it with her feet. So and then we got up after the movie got over, we got up and we are going like gonna go to bed. And she goes, man, my foot smells like fart. And I was like, oh shit. So she let me sit there and think that I got away with it for a good 15 minutes before she dropped the bomb on me.
Oh,
And I was just like, I'm sorry. And then I have ripped ass during sex before too. So, and that's when it all stops.
yeah, that's it's either you just like don't stink, don't. It's free. Okay, let's go. You know, you have that moment of panic, you know,
Right.
Because no one wants to puke while having sex, because that's just like dead sex right there.
Yep. But yeah, it kind of just snuck up and just and it's just like I just stopped and it was over. It was roll over, go to bed.
It was nice. It was nice that we had this fun time, and I'm sorry I've destroyed the moment. Because the woman, like, if a woman farts, you don't care. As a man, you're like, no, don't care. Don't care. But you fart, you're like, it's over. She's done.
The end of the world.
Fuck, damn it! I'm going to the bathroom. Rah, you know?
I'll let myself out.
Yeah. Unless it's a hookup. Sometimes with a hookup, you're like, they're like, you're both so horny, you're like, I don't fucking care.
Right? Exactly.
But if it's the wife or girlfriend, it's done.
Game's over. All right. We're gonna get to our last question. And we're gonna say it's gonna be extensive. We're gonna talk about this for a minute. Because if you were a mad scientist, what scientific experiment would you run if money and ethics were no option? Were no issue. Sorry, not option, issue.
Dude, you don't have an option. You have to have ethics. Damn it.
Man.
You don't want any. So I've always been interested in police states. And that because like I can't remember the study. It was a prison study, but it was done in a micro event where you had some being the police officer or the police guards, and then you had some being the prisoners, and there was a fixed schedule, but some started like this power dynamic happened. But I would wonder if you took it and you made the state watching everything and no one had anything to hide, because if, let's say, oh, where were you on the night of XYZ, it's like, okay, I can track you and find out where you were. So like you don't have to worry about murder anymore, because like no one's going to risk being caught because like they're trackable. You know, no one's going to worry about talking shit to you because you have to be a better person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you also being more genuine to yourself because you're like, well, I don't really have much to hide. You know, like before people who were smoking were hiding it. Like, oh my God, now people are like, I don't fucking care anymore. You know?
Yeah, people are just walking down the street smoking now.
Yeah, because
In
it's
legal
legal.
states, anyways. But
Yeah, it's illegal across Canada. So
oh yeah, yeah. You guys are 100% legal nationwide, aren't you? Yep.
yeah, we are. But there's like certain places you're not allowed to smoke it. You know, like there are rules, which is understandable. Like it's not like you can drink and drive, you can't smoke and drive. So it's like there's certain they're a little more restrictive than some rules, but they're like we can't stop you. The fucking government said so, and it's like our generation. Like we're not scared because we know there's proof that weed is good. Like it's been
Mm-hmm.
used throughout history, saying like, yo, it's medicinal, and it helped me. Like with my
Yep.
burnout, like it helped me hit my goals in that, and it helped me think differently. Like the
Yep.
thinking, like when I'm stuck, man, throwing some jazz or old blues, man, light up a joint, just lie on your couch,
Zone out. Yeah.
your mind just opens up and your thinking just you just levitate above it all and you see
Right.
things you've never seen. Like so
Yeah.
that's that it's yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to see like a like a being able like everybody being held accountable for their actions without being like someone well he bit me. No he didn't. Like we see evidence. No he bit me out. Like that lady.
Nope,
Like
you did it.
everybody wouldn't believe the black guy because it's like a white woman or whatever, but like now we have this proof, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I would love like a complete police state. Everybody's being held accountable for their actions, so they have to be on this base behavior. Like you can do some wrong, but it's like oh, you vandalize something, okay, it's not the end of the fucking world, you know, like we can
Right.
fix it, you know. But like murdering something, well, murder gets away a lot because no one can find them, right? They can pack up
Exactly.
and move.
Yep.
So being able to be completely, I would love to see like a complete like ecosystem like that done and see how well it works and see
Yeah.
how good the society and what transforms from there.
Yeah, that would be amazing to have like a worldwide policing and just
Mhm.
everyone accountable for everything that you do. Like I would be accountable for a lot of the stuff that I did in my past because I'm not a perfect person.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
we
yeah.
all aren't, but yeah, that would make the world a
But
better place
here's
for
the
sure.
thing. Here's the thing I love. Like social media is making us all accountable now, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's before we were like the false pretenses, these fake promises were being shown, and everybody was going for that fake lifestyle. And then we found like, no, dude, and 2020 really shone a hard light on it. And so now I'm seeing a lot more positivity and a lot of people being held accountable. Like, yo, you can't say that because you have this, you know, like athletes are losing their careers over it because you're being held accountable. And slowly it's going to develop into, okay, everybody's going to be held accountable. Like people are like extremists, just recently, Gina Car, I don't know, the lady in Star Wars. Can't
Okay.
remember
Okay.
his name. Pardon me. She got fired because of some of her tweets,
Okay.
and people are like, "Well, First Amendment," but it's like, no, like there's First Amendment.
Yeah.
Like we have free speech in Canada, and our free speech is worded differently than First Amendment because
Mhm.
free speech in Canada is as long as you don't infringe on the rights of other people. You can
Right.
say whatever you want as long as you don't infringe the rights of the other people. So if you say something that can lead to hate, you're infringing on that person's safety.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like that's what I love about Canadian. That's why we're kind of won't say nicer, because when you get a group of Canadians together, we'll talk shit about it every other country, like just like most countries do. We don't boast about it because we're like, oh hey,
Right.
hey, you're a nice American. Oh yeah, you're so good.
So
Fucking
good.
idiots.
Fucking moron.
God, how dumb are they? Like really, Trump of all people. You know, like he's orange. You know, like everybody's like, really?
Thank you for saying that because I can't, because this is my show and I try to stay away from it, but thank you. But yeah, it was.
I'm not worried for the hate. I'm Canadian. Like, what are you gonna do? The borders are closed.
You can't come up here.
Can't come get me. Poo poo.
Like I have family up there and I can't even go up there.
Right? Like, we'll try and smuggle you later. But yeah, that's it. Like, because like Trump's trying to deny his things now, and it's like, no, like, gee, look, his words, people died. Like we have direct correlations, not like, oh no, you can't really prove it. Like burden of proof is like no, like we have more than enough. But this is what I like. Like we're going to kind of towards that, but we're fumbling along a way because people are kind of like, no, because I don't want my dirty laundry to be shown. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I'm fed up of hiding.
Fed up of hiding. If I was a mad scientist, I would develop time travel to go forward, not backwards. Like I would make it so you could see what happened like really in the past, like what actually happened in the past, and like a TV screen or something. It'd be like a channel, like on demand or something.
So I get it. You can see like 10 years in the future, like you're looking 10 years, but because you're looking 10 years in the future, you see the past 10 years. So
exactly.
Yeah.
See, this is Twilight Zone type shit.
It's like Doctor Strange, from Endgame style. It's exactly like WandaVision. Like,
yeah, I love that show,
dude. Did you see the last episode?
Not yet, but yes.
Dude.
You can talk about it. I won't care.
No, I can't ruin it for you because it's too good.
Oh, there's probably viewers out there that haven't watched it.
Yeah, and I don't mind spoiling something for myself,
right?
But I try my best not, if I enjoy something, not to spoil it from someone else. Like I'm gonna spoil Endgame because like it's fucking like if you haven't seen Endgame by now, like what the, I'm sorry, like wake the fuck up. Or
it's like 5 years old now.
Yeah, or Jurassic Park, anything. I give you a year. Like you have a year nowadays, like because things are so accessible, it's not as hard, So I give you a year. For a TV show, I give you about 2 weeks normally.
Yeah.
But if it's because like, come on, 2 weeks, you can find some like at least 30 minutes to an hour to watch this show, like, so I don't like spoiling things for people when a new show comes out. But so like this episode is really good. Like what I love about what they're doing with WandaVision is nearly every episode is answering questions from the previous episode, but also making you question those answers as maybe they're not true.
Exactly.
And also
it's a good kind of mind fuck pretty much.
Yeah, but also they're also giving winks and nods to all the YouTubers and bloggers and all that at the same time, saying we know you have these questions, and because you have those questions, the people watching WandaVision have the exact same questions. So it's like, you're in this, we understand that you're watching and you would have this questions. Let us walk you through the understanding, because for non-comic book fans trying to understand the multiverse, understand there's multiple dimensions and all that, it's like complex. But as a comic book fan, it's fucking simple to understand, because you're like, they went like, oh, it's a portal, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a wormhole.
It's a wormhole, okay, cool. But like, people who never read a comic book won't understand that, because a wormhole for them is like something in the space, something super far. And because it's been grounded so much in their reality, it's hard for them. So I'm liking how they're like they're leading the people, because I had some friends who were comic book fans who hated WandaVision.
Oh, wow, really?
Because they were expecting the movie, something like a movie, right?
Okay.
But because I've watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I've watched a bit of Agent Carter, I understand what Marvel's doing to build this whole universe, and I understand what they're trying to do, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Like, I'm like, why are they doing a 50 style? And then the second one, that's why they released the first 2 to the audiences when it released, but the first 3 to critics, because the third episode explains the whole, or it gives you a big bite, it gives you that big bite to want to see the 4th episode, which kind of like just kicks down the door and says, hello, this is why this show is awesome. And all my friends after the 4th episode, they changed their mind. They're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm like, I knew it from the first episode, because I trust Marvel, because right now the right person, Kevin Feige, in charge of Marvel, he's earned my trust from the first cinematic universe. Like, he created a cinematic universe, and he made Spider-Man cool again. Like, come on.
Exactly. Yeah, Spider-Man was kind of weak, but now he's cool again.
Like, I had no problem. Like, Tobey Maguire was a great Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield had his perks of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, like I liked his quick wit of being Spider-Man. Like
Yep.
when he was Spider-Man voicing it, great. His like sexy nerd, cool nerd thing didn't do it for me. But like his Spider-Man was good. Tobey Maguire will always be my favorite Spider-Man just because he's the OG. Like he's like, for me, Kevin Costner is the best Batman because he
Yep.
was my first Batman. You know, like the first necessarily isn't the best. I fully admit that the Tobey Maguire has so many faults, but just because of who's in it and the fact that it's like real, actual comic book kind of style in the human world.
Right.
So it's like it's not as goofy, crazy comic bookiness like that we're used to with like the Tim Burton, not the more the Tim Burton, the after Tim Burton's the Schumacher Batman, you know. So it
Yep.
was like, but it's like, oh my god, this is actual kind of, you know, nearly human, and they just slowly got better and better, and now it's like, okay, we're trying to shift it back to the comic book, but we have to slowly bring these people over because showing them comic book stuff won't make it good.
Exactly.
And Disney's doing great with the Mandalorian, and like I was a huge fan of the recent trilogy of Star Wars. Yes, there's faults in them, but I think the problem was they didn't have one person overseeing the whole thing. Like Kevin Feige is Marvel. Like you take him away, Marvel's gone.
Exactly.
But he's like, okay, over here, okay, this is what we need. This, okay, he's working. He's like, okay, this is going to work over here. He sees all the pieces and he's making sure it all connects somehow, right? So one movie will lead into another movie will lead into another. He understands that. Whereas over at Star Wars, right, Lucas, they didn't. If they had Abram like maybe oversee the whole movie as an executive producer, but have different directors who like, okay, we need these type things answered in these sequence. This is how you do it. There probably would have been a better movie. But because Abrams opened all these mystery boxes and is it John Riley? I can't remember the director for the second one. He's like, I don't like mystery boxes. Fuck that. So he's throwing everything out because he's like, screw this, I don't like this, and that created tension.
Right.
Because it's like, no, you're supposed to follow this, and that's why Abrams comes back at the end, and now he's like, okay, I have to answer my mystery boxes, but I also have to deal with the mess I inherited now, and that's why you got this kind of lackluster finish to it where people are kind of really disappointed and have a bad taste in their mouth. But in like 20 years, people are going to love that because they're going to say, oh, that reminded me of this period of life, you know, like, you know, they'll have good positive feelings. Like, that's what we're going through right now with like the 90s kind of coming back, the early 2000s, you know. So
yep, history repeats itself. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the MC Hammer pants to come back so I can bring mine out of the crate. They probably won't fit anymore though. But
they're not coming back.
They're not coming back. Oh,
they're not coming back. They were never in, and they will never be back in, or it never will be a thing.
The big Velcro with parachute pants. Those things were they were comfy as hell. They looked ridiculous, but they were so comfy. Now, before we go, I want to get your opinion because everyone has a different one, but I think everyone really agrees with mine. But the Game of Thrones ending. See, there we go. We're already on the same page here.
No, because I know what page I think you're on, and I have to disagree with you.
Ooh, okay.
So, for me, most people don't. Since I'm a huge cinephile, I love the entertainment world. It's something that I'm passionate about, and that's my like I'm addicted to, like, if I go into like something, I like dive headfirst and I have to know everything about it.
Exactly.
So I know that there was a lot of back and forth with the behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about.
Okay.
So most people who watch it, they just tune in and they're like, oh, I'm a casual fan. Oh, I'm a casual fan. And they just know the story. But I've read the books. I know the history. Like, this is my fandom.
Okay.
So I know a bit more, but also fandoms don't always read everything because like, oh, I don't care about this and that. But the creators wanted it finished with what, 6 seasons, right?
7.
Seven.
It was a short, maybe a short 8.
Yeah, they wanted to do 6. The creators.
Okay.
Martin wanted them to do 7, and the studio and HBO wanted them to do more.
Okay.
But there wasn't enough to do more because the writer Gigi Martin hadn't written anything yet. Like the final book hasn't come out yet, so
Exactly. Yeah.
we can't make shit up. We don't know where this story is going, so no one's going to be happy where we go.
You're right.
And they're like, and Martin is famously not sharing anything.
Yeah.
So he's not sharing much info because he's not done the book yet, so he doesn't know where it's going. So you have these guys who like, okay, fuck it, we're gonna kick down the show. We'll see where the fuck it goes.
Right.
And they're like, okay, but we don't want to go more. And HBO is like, here's money, and they're like, it's not working. Like I have no idea where I want to end it here.
Right.
No, make it longer, make it better, dude. Because they're seeing all the money that they're making, and it was greed at that point instead of the creative control. And so the guys were like, "Fuck it, we're just gonna end it like this." I don't know. Roll the dice. I don't care.
Right.
Like, and so that's how it was, and that's how I see it. Like, for me, it's a sad season because I see the potential it could have been. And I see the passion the guys had, and because of the interference that happens with studios, that they fucking ruin films pretty much from the creative point, or shows, because they want more and more and more. And there's like, sometimes there's not, like, here's our story, this is the arc, this is what we have to go through. And I think the Brits do it best when they just have a series and they have like a full, maybe we'll come back, maybe we won't, like it's 2 series and boom, we're done, you know?
Right.
And I like that because it's like they make a full show in one, and they can just like, okay, we can do it or we don't. So sometimes I like that style versus here they like, you fucking push and you try and like bleed it dry. Like they're coming up, we're having 13 prequels of the Game of Thrones. I'm like, why?
Right.
Like yeah, yes, Marvel proved that you can have a universe. However, DC proved that if you don't take care of it, you'll fuck it up.
It's gonna turn to shit.
Yeah. So far, you guys have fucked up. Take a second, you know, maybe have someone in charge of the global brand of it and control it all. And, you know, maybe make sure there's a muzzle on the writer, because you don't want to have a Harry Potter situation with J.K. Rowling, you know, unfortunately. But I love how speaking of another fandom, the fandom was like, don't you know that Daniel Radcliffe wrote Harry Potter? It wasn't, you know, J.K. Rowling. And they like literally they were like, fuck it, he's written it, because Daniel Radcliffe is like the iconic good, you know, like that chaotic good and chaotic evil type thing. But he's like chaotic, he's like pure goodness. And then you have Patterson, who's chaotic good, you know, like, because he's like disheveled, but he doesn't look like a dick. He's just like, this is who I am. But Daniel Radcliffe is like, oh, I'll help you. I'll sit and talk with you for 15 minutes about something, or I don't know. And I hope you have a nice day. Okay, bye. Is there anything else I can do for you? Walks away and you're like, oh my God, I feel great. But then you meet like Pattinson and you're like, I just love how authentic you are. He's like, yeah, me too. You want a beer? Sure. Okay, cool.
Yeah, sure.
And then he walks off and you're like, that's amazing. You know, like, no, like it's like Bill Murray to me. Like it's a Bill Murray moment, you know, like Bill Murray is a god. And Kevin Smith is like, they're like that. Like Kevin Smith is, you know, chaotic good for me, and or like pure good, and Bill Murray is the chaotic good, you know, for me. Like that's my generation, you know. So
nice.
That's how I like it.
Yeah. For me, the ending of Game of Thrones, it just seemed like it was kind of rushed. Like they try to cram so much into so little time. But that was pretty much my only thing with it. Like I think the storyline turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
Like the way it ended, I had no problem with the way it ended. I just felt like it could have went on for another season. Like I'm the HBO person that could have said, "Hey, do another season," you know. But I am glad that they stepped back from it and let the author, you know, write the books, you know, and hopefully they'll follow the books a little bit more. So that's my only thing on it. But it was a great show. I loved it. I watched it every week. I tuned in every single week.
The Battle of the Bastards.
Oh geez.
I literally was watching it. So I was stupidly high as a kite watching that. I got
You wanted that guy
claustrophobia.
to die so bad.
Oh yeah.
Like that
Like
rampage.
when Jon Snow's running and then the like both sides just come in and he's like kind of like fighting up. I have claustrophobia and I'm like literally like nothing. I'm in a t-shirt high as a kite in the middle of my living room and I'm like trying to breathe. I'm like, oh no, I'm not there, man. I'm not there. Breathe, Phil, breathe. You know?
Like it's just a TV. Look away.
Jesus Christ. But like that was so intense. Like the intensity of the battles, like they just got what I love is it's just got the battles and the cinematics just got progressively better. And I think it just kind of like sometimes happens, you know, like James Bond, the gadgets overtook the stories and like, let's make him in an invisible car. How do we work an invisible car with you know, a Mercedes-Benz paying us?
Right. Yep. Yeah, my favorite part of the whole Game of Thrones was when Arya Stark like left the Hound at the foothill after he got his ass beat, and then he was just sitting there dying, and then she just goes and she just leaves him there. Like that was my favorite part. I'm like, I was just like, yeah, you understand why she did it, but you kind of feel bad for the Hound because what happened. But he comes back and all that stuff and plays a bigger role than what we thought. So
yeah, no, it's I can see people being upset, why they're upset with it. I can also see why people love it because there's a lot of things to love about it, but I understand it's divisive. I look for things that make I enjoy in it, and I think the story was relatively good. Sometimes the cinematics were brilliantly told the story, which is nice. When they show you everything instead of just like, oh, he's the king's brother, you know, but they're like, no, they give you this like royalness to him, like where he walks in this swagger and you're like, he wouldn't have that swagger unless he's someone important. I want to watch that guy.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to thank you for coming on the show, sir. And before we take off, I'm gonna let you talk to the people one time and tell them where they can find you and all that good stuff. All that good stuff.
Awesome. So I am again Phil Better. You can search my podcast, the new one, the great one, the Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast at investinyourselfpod.com. Social media, make it simple for you at Invest in Yourself Pod on all platforms. That's where you can find us. Launching season 2 mid-March. We have some great guests in there. We got some YouTubers and even a CEO and rugby team owner. So look for that as well. There's some great previous seasons if you're looking how to up your LinkedIn game. There's episode 5, I believe, is with a guy who made a side business just teaching people how to use LinkedIn to connect people. So you can listen to that. So there's a lot of great episodes there if you're looking to become an entrepreneur and learn stuff.
Nice. Thank you again, sir. Appreciate you appreciate you coming on to the show. See, I'm fucked up because of the sky.
That's really just high. Like selling Skywalker for me, man. I'm like, I need to get this shit. I need to find.
It'll make you stupid. Again, thank you, sir. I love you guys. Stay up. Peace out.
Scene 1, Apple, take 1.
You wanna get high?
That's right.